I spent my life, learning how to get grants and free money from the government and, the federal government, state government, local government. But now I found out how to get a grant from the Chinese government. That's right. And actually, it's a subsidized course to learn Chinese. I want to learn Mandarin. I call it my Alzheimer's prevention program. I exercise every day to keep my body in shape. But how do you keep the mind in shape? So I said, what's the hardest thing I could try to learn? To keep my mind like running a marathon to keep your body in shape. Well, what's equal to something like that for your mind? Well, learning Mandarin, I think. And so, see, there's courses all around the country and actually all over the world. They're at universities. See, if you go to the university, I take these courses. They're from the Chinese government. They call it Confucius Institute. And they're set up at universities all around the country. There's hundreds and hundreds of these things all over the world. And it's only like $150. You take a Chinese language course at the college, it'll be thousands of dollars. Or if you go on the Rosetta Stone, that's hundreds of dollars. And it's not even a person, or you go to these private language schools or whatever, they'll charge you maybe even thousands, And what's neat, they're people just from China, young teachers that have been trained in how to teach people Chinese. There's small classes, like 4 or 5 people in a class. They're wonderful. And I go to the university and I struggle with this. I mean, I must know 12, 14 words already. And actually, I'm on my way to Shanghai to meet with some app developers and things like that, and also take some more classes. So it's an interesting thing, and I think as that country develops, they're going to be buying more and more stuff from us, instead of just selling us stuff to put into Walmart. They're going to be buying our stuff as their economy keeps growing and growing. I mean, it's a small world, and it's a wonderful experience. So you don't have to pay thousands of dollars, to do this. There's always a cheaper way to do it. And probably when you're watching this, I'll be in Shanghai. I didn't get my airline free, but you can, because they also have grants for people, Americans and other non-Chinese people, to go to China to learn. So watch this video, because it's another woman that was in course with me, and we talk about how great it is to learn something so difficult and so new, and to expand your horizon and do it for next to nothing. So watch. Well, tell me your name.
Dr. Monika Hofferzello.
Hofferzello.
Half of it is German and half is an American name.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good, because we're going to talk about languages today. Yeah. And Monica is in my Chinese class.
Yep. Yeah.
We're classmates. Ni hao ma.
Ni hao ma.
So.
Hen hao.
Right. And that's what I wanted Monica to tell us, talked about it instead of just me. There's another professor going by our Chinese professors here, that I am having the time of my life studying Chinese at the university here, but it's actually put on by the Chinese government. The neatest thing about this whole program to me, which I'm trying to get other people to understand, is that, see, I'm about showing people how to take advantage of programs that are sponsored by the government, because the government, subsidizes so many things that you could take advantage of for free. So I wanted to learn Chinese, and I found a government program that subsidizes.
It's almost free.
Right, that it subsidizes, learning Chinese, but it's from the Chinese government that subsidizes.
Yeah, it's the best ever. Well, I started to study Chinese last year. I've been here with the Confucius Institute in my second semester, which I'm just finishing. Next week, in 2 weeks, my third semester.
I know, I can't believe another semester's gone already.
And you coming with me in the next class.
Right.
And this has been so inexpensive. It's $150 for an 8-week class, only $70 for George Mason faculty, students, and staff.
So now just think, if we went across the street here, we're at George Mason University, and took a Chinese class from the university, that would cost what, $1,000, $1,500 or something like that? Right.
And even if we compare it to other culture institutes, like the Goethe Institute from Germany, is a similar idea. They want to promote culture and language. the Alliance Française, which does the same for the French language, their classes like this run at least $400 or more.
Wow.
So this is less than half of it.
Wow. Yeah. So it's $150, and I don't know about you, but I think particularly the teachers are wonderful.
I have been so excited about taking this class, and I had to miss one last week.
Yes.
I was sad.
I'm the same way.
My daughter couldn't believe it. I was on spring break with her, and I said, I can't believe I have to miss my Chinese class. This is how much I love it.
I know. Likewise. I can't wait to come. I have to travel about 45 minutes to get here, and I can't wait to come and sit in the class. And what I can't get over to, it's fun to be stupid. To sit there and not be able to say this simple. It sounds simple. The teacher look at it. Can't you just say this?
But the teachers make it so much fun.
Yes.
And I have really enjoyed coming here. I look forward to it every week. I wish we had 3 days a week.
I know.
Class.
Like I really can't imagine. That's why I'm trying to encourage people to take advantage of things like this and to learn. I mean, Chinese culture. What's interesting. I mean, I think they're so important in the world now, and they're going to be more important. There's 1.3 billion of these people. So watch out.
1/5 of the world population. I don't know if you knew that speaks Chinese.
Wow.
So for one thing, that should be encouraging to all of you. If 1/5 of the world population can speak it, you can do it.
What a market.
Yeah, and it shows you how important it is to learn Chinese. Because
they all speak English.
Yeah, well, and China is the second fastest growing economy in the world. And
really? Who's the first?
Yeah, well, America.
Oh, I know. They're growing. That's the second size, not growing.
Yeah.
So they're the second biggest economy in the world.
Right, and so for America, China is a really important partner for the future.
Yes, that's
so
what
it is more than ever important for the population to learn more about the culture, not just the language, but by learning the language, you learn about the culture.
Well, I think you're so right there, because we have things to learn from that. I mean, now we're pretty fat and happy in America, and the Chinese are very motivated because they have such so many important things to do, and they're so motivated.
And they want to be our friend and partner. And I think one of the best things that this Confucius Institute offers, by you taking a language here and learning about the culture, you lose this fear. And a lot of Americans are afraid. They're afraid of China, and there is no reason. Instead of being fearful.
How could you be afraid of that sweet woman there?
You should lose your fear and actually learn about it. And that's, I think, my biggest promotion for learning languages is that you become culturally competent. And especially in America, where people don't typically learn several languages at a young age. I grew up in Germany, and by
you could hit a golf ball and speak 5 languages.
By the age of 13, I worked on my 4th language.
Wow.
So Chinese is actually my 7th language now.
Wow.
And I always encourage
But you struggle
people,
like I am too, and I can barely speak English.
Don't tell anyone. But I really believe by learning languages, it opens up your horizon. And so many people are narrow-minded. They don't know anything else about the world. And by learning, especially Chinese, it will open up a new world. I learned so much about Asia, the Asian language and culture. I had no idea. 2 years ago, it didn't really interest me that much. And now, anything I read has to do with China. I'm so passionate.
Well, I mean, likewise. I mean, to me, I feel we have so much to learn about the industrialness that they have. I mean, we're hardworking people too, but it's, if you're in class, I mean, I see my kids that are taking, and you have kids in school, they're with Asians in class, and they're working a heck of a lot harder than the U.S. are, and that's what you have to do to get ahead, is just work hard. Actually, it's an interesting statistic. Half the people from China who take the SAT test for getting into college here, half of them have perfect scores in math.
You know what? And that doesn't surprise me.
Perfect. I mean, here you go to any class, you'd be lucky if you have 1, 2, 3 perfect scores. Half of them have perfect scores.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean that's an inspiration for us to get off our butt.
We can learn so much from them. Both my children are studying Chinese as well, and it has opened up.
The other thing I noticed too, I don't know, maybe I haven't been to China. You have recently, and through the Institute, right?
Yeah, I went twice.
But is that the respectfulness they have? I mean, we're so friendly, and and that's nice too, and maybe they need to learn more of that, being more open,
And my children saw, actually, when they went on 2 high school trips there, how the young people respect the elders much more than
now
our
that's
society.
very important.
Yeah. That was something that really
Yes.
impressed me. They're
Yes.
so respectful towards the elders.
Yes.
And I wish our children could learn
Yes.
from that. There's so many things they could learn, not just the language, but
Right.
about
Exactly.
the culture, and they could be culturally
Yes.
more competent.
Well, that's what I think it all is. I mean, how do we work together to get things better done? And if you have just boogeyman thoughts in your head about somebody you don't know,
you gotta lose your fear and learn about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And all this world, career opportunities
Yes,
that this
yes.
would open up. If you study Chinese here,
Absolutely.
Confucius Institute even has a specific business class,
Yes.
which my husband took.
Oh, I
and
took that. That was a-
yeah, you took
I
it
was
with him.
yes.
And I actually reviewed everything with
Yes.
him because I want to learn everything.
Yes.
I said, let me see what you do in your
Uh-huh.
business Chinese class. There is
Yeah. Yes.
such valuable information. If
Uh-huh.
you went to China today and met a businessman, or even here,
Right.
what is the proper etiquette? So
Exactly.
they offer so many
So I
different
mean,
classes.
if you're looking for a job in the United States, if you had a little knowledge of Chinese, that would give you an edge up, because every business in the United States is figuring out how to sell to those 1.3 billion people over there.
Right, yeah. So I tell my children, keep studying
Yes.
Chinese. You'll have so many open doors and
Exactly,
opportunities
yeah,
for your
I
workforce
believe.
later, in the economic field, in the business field, in the finance
Right.
field, in education. So
Yeah.
studying Chinese
I
is not
believe.
just something that should be.
And another reason, I mean, I always had that feeling, because I think they're going to be an important country, very soon. They already are. And who knows how important they're going to be in the future. So it's good to know. But also, as an aging person, I'm in my late 60s already, and I exercise every day physically to keep my body going. And I was thinking, how could I keep my mind going? How do I really exercise this? Like running 6 miles a day. What's the hardest thing I could do?
Study Chinese.
See,
you know what? That's exactly. Somebody asked me the other day, why do you take this class? And I
Yeah.
said, for one reason. I have several reasons, but one is it enriches my
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
It challenges my brain.
Yes.
It stimulates me.
Yes.
And I'm not a typical young
Yeah.
George Mason student here. I'm a
Right.
little older too,
You're
but
cuter than most, though, I'll tell you.
yes. But it really stimulates me,
Yeah.
and I feel so happy that I'm
Yeah.
able to start to master
Exactly.
a couple of sentences, a couple of
Oh,
words. I recognize
yes.
characters, and it's
Ah.
really stimulating. So there is no
Yeah.
age limit.
Absolutely.
Study Chinese when you're 80, start to study it when you're 5. There is nothing
No,
is
I
too
think
early, nothing is too
right.
old.
I feel that way too, and just the accomplishment, even though it takes long, but I think it takes anybody a long time.
I think it's challenging, but honestly, it's not as hard as I expected it.
Yeah, well, it just takes perseverance.
Yeah, it does. It takes
That's
perseverance,
yeah.
and on the other hand, though, it's such a logical language.
Yes, the more you know, the
Yeah.
easier it is to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
and my
as I
son
see.
told me that years ago. He said, "Mom, don't worry, don't be
Yeah,
afraid.
exactly.
Once
Oh.
you know some basic Chinese,
Exactly.
it gets easier and
It does.
easier."
I
So
mean,
you
I
can,
saw that.
Yeah, it's so logical. Like
Yeah.
if you have, let's say, any word that has
Yeah.
something to do with water, you have 3 drops
Exactly.
of water in the pictogram, in the character. So you can almost
I
guess
remember,
what the character means.
I'm like you, I'm in my second class here, and my first quiz in my first class, I did not know a thing. I mean, and then maybe there are 30 questions in there. I guessed at every one of them. I swear to God, I know, because my ears weren't tuned in, nothing.
Yeah.
And now taking it again now, instead of knowing 20%, I know 80%. I don't know it all yet.
Yeah.
But it just does become easier. But it
But
does
I
take
think
work.
it's important to tell people, because most
Yes.
people, when you say I'm studying Chinese, they
Yes,
freak out.
exactly.
Oh my God, I could never do this. Yes,
Yeah.
you can. It's
Right.
not as hard as you think, and
Yes.
it's so much fun.
Now, I flunked English in college, see, and I'm getting through this thing.
But it's really fun. It's
Yes.
a wonderful class. I love my teachers. We have had 3 teachers
they're
so
wonderful.
far.
And that's
Yeah.
it about the Institute. I see that, not only is it so, the value for money is incredible. I mean, you're getting people, just off the plane from China teaching you.
Yeah.
You're not getting some American person who
I think that's an
spends it.
important fact. People should know
Absolutely.
that this institute works as
Yes.
a partnership with Hanban in Beijing, which is the
Uh-huh.
Confucius Institute headquarters,
Right.
and the Beijing Culture and Language University. And all the professors who have been teaching you and
Right,
me and
yeah.
everyone else, they all are professors from that university,
Exactly. That's
flown
wonderful.
fresh
Yeah,
right there
right.
from Beijing.
Right.
So it's
Not
so
fresh
authentic.
frozen, fresh.
So we are really treat it.
I think it's incredible value. It's an incredible learning experience. I can't think of something I did that was more important for me.
Yeah, I agree. This is one of the best experiences. Now, I've been teaching and learning languages all my life, and this tops it off.
Really, huh? That's interesting. Yeah. So, well, that's a hell of an endorsement, right? That's why I wanted to get her on camera talking about this, and that the opportunities that are available in our country to learn things.
Yeah, and you don't have to pay a fortune for it.
Exactly.
And if you can't travel there right now, this is the next best thing.
But actually, they do have scholarships to travel too.
Yes, I was going to mention that. So the Confucius Institute doesn't just teach the language and culture here, they encourage people to go to China. So they have scholarship opportunities. They have a summer bridge program which takes high school students over there and George Mason students.
But actually, I think they'll take grown-ups, won't they?
And they teach...
I think that I was looking
at... Well, you're a student.
Exactly, right. I'm a student, so I'm a 68-year-old student. What
and
the heck?
they take teachers over there because there's an outreach program where they go on a culture day to the high schools and get all these wonderful high school Chinese teachers so excited to teach it to their students. And so we have outreach programs that... make that program available to other schools.
You're used to maybe studying languages. I was not. I wasn't even used to studying. I mean, I was a kid who skated through college. And but what I find is the joy in working hard at trying to learn.
Yeah.
That the more time you put into it, the better.
You see
you see the results. It's sort of like if you wanted to learn how to hit a baseball, you just can't go out the first day and hit a home run. You have to practice and practice, but there's joy in that, and there's
an encouragement.
Exactly.
Like our teachers, as you know, they send us every week a link so we can listen to our little chapter, wonderful. And then we can review what we did in the class.
That's the best way, is listening.
So you can do it as often as you want and spend as much time reviewing. So the teachers really encourage you to do more at home. So it's not just the class once a week. Then you go home, you get more materials. You get the whole slideshow from the class.
And I feel like I know a little secret. Like with all my friends and things like that. Like, I have this little secret. I mean, I'm studying Chinese. And they don't even know what that Christmas tree thing looks like or whatever.
Yeah, it's something really exciting.
Yes, it is.
I have studied 6 other languages, but Chinese has been the most fun.
Wow!
And plus, the culture has fascinated me because by learning the language, our teachers always include some culture teaching.
Oh, definitely.
They have this wonderful library here.
They're from China, so you're getting the culture just by them talking.
And you have attended some of the other events that the Confucius Institute hosts at George Mason.
And the buddy
language program, so we can all meet every week with a buddy and practice our Chinese.
But there was one woman who came in that buddy time, and she's still in college in China. She's here studying, and she's talking about being in college in China. And the one thing amazed me is that, now listen to this, you people who know colleges in the United States, she said they get up at 6:30 in the morning to get in line for class at 7:30 for a class that starts like at 8:30. So they're waiting for an hour in front, like a rock concert, to get into class, and waiting in line so they get a good seat in class. I mean, you think our students would do that? No way.
Look how easy this was. You pull out the parking lot, you walk to the Confucius Institute. But I like that they offer more than just the class. And I mentioned the library, so anybody could come and borrow materials, DVDs, videos.
A couple books myself.
So
it's free, the library.
Everything is free. And all these events, they have really done a lot of events at George Mason. We had Madame Yan even visit last year.
Yes,
you were with me there
too.
So that
didn't understand a word, but
she came into our building
it's fun
and
picking out little words. And I know. Oh, I know that one.
Well, that was at the beginning of our first class. So I don't think many people understood.
But now I'm flipping through some Chinese movies and I'm able to
picking up words. When I see characters, like I recognize this character, and this is it's weird because, as most people know, Chinese has characters. But it's not that difficult because they're pictograms. So everything is a little picture, and we learned last year how they actually developed over the years, or decades, or centuries, and it all makes sense. It's so logical. So don't be afraid to study Chinese. It's not that hard, and it makes
And if it's not Chinese, I mean, really, it's trying to. People should be inspired about doing something. I mean, there's so many neat things to learn, and you don't have to spend a lot of money learning them.
Well, that's the best part. It is almost free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And I've always said.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, I'm sorry. You always said what?
I want to say a last sentence. Language learning to me is like a launching pad. You create a launching pad. I like that image.
Yes.
And with this launching pad, you get to a higher degree of cultural competency.
Well, cultural, but your world expands.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
It's like reading 100 books that you never thought about.
Yeah. And so use this opportunity. It's almost free, and it's a wonderful institute that really it created a new world for me. So.
That's wonderful. Let's do 再见. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 再见.
再见.